This is the Danchee Ridgerock, and it just might be the most affordable and best way to get into RC crawling. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. You'll tend to follow me crawling and bashing and drifting, plus racing, doing product review videos and how-tos. Today we have the Danchee Ridgerock on the bench. Skip the whole unboxing. I've actually already gone out and driven it, and we're going to give you an overview of what this looks like and how it drives. On the channel, I'm always looking for budget ways to let people get into the RC hobby. I've been really on this quest for a while now of what is a true good value RC crawler to let folks get in and try out the hobby. And honestly, this thing's always looked so kind of cheap to me, and it's not one of like the scale trucks, so I've always avoided it. And recently Redcat had it on sale. I mean, even on not on sale, this thing is just over $100. It's a really good value, but I finally couldn't pass it up, got one, had to give it a shot. When you get this crawler, you do get controller right here. You get the vehicle itself, which is a dual steering, four-wheel steering, which is a really cool feature to have on a budget vehicle like this. You can actually control the steering in multiple different ways. Really, really fun feature that really attracts a lot of attention. It is also motor on axle. So there's actually a motor in the rear and a motor in the front, and battery and speed control are just in the middle. That is it, which really helps it with its crawling capability because all the weight is down here on the axles. Really, really nice. And the last thing it comes with besides a manual is a charger to help you charge the little battery that comes in here. 4 body clips, 2 on each side, and then the body itself comes off very easily. You can see we're not dealing with a whole lot here since the motors and everything are on the axles. We don't have a transmission, we don't have a motor, we don't have any of that stuff here in the center of the vehicle. We have the battery, which is a 1500 milliamp. It's a lithium ion battery, which is kind of unusual. Normally we use lithium polymer batteries with a kind of unusual plug on it here, and then it's hiding an ESC speed control right there in the middle with the on-off switch, which is a momentary switch here. So that's really what we're looking at. This is it. There's no drive shafts coming from the front and the rear. All you have going is wires, one for the motor, one for the steering setup. Truck does sit rather high as it comes from the factory, but it also has a crazy amount of suspension articulation, which again, for someone new into the crawling world, is one of those kind of ooh-ah things that you get, right? So really a lot of interesting features straight out of the box. Has the battery. I mean, all I had to do was put some AA batteries in the controller and I was up and driving for the first time. I'm going to give you 2 shows of how this truck crawls, 2 different tests. One is here in my backyard on my personal crawler course, so I can really compare how it does versus competitions that are out there, other crawlers. The other is taking it to Big Buddha's RC Ranch, one of the typical places that we go and crawl, and giving it a test out there in Mother Nature, if you will. So let's get to it. first tests, first drives all done, and that is really, really, really interesting. This truck right here has some performance that really is much higher than what its price is. This is, I mean, I'm really impressed. So we've tested this in my backyard. We've tested this at Big Buddha's RC Ranch. Pros, ridiculously quiet. Potentially the quietest RC I've ever had. Flexibility, the articulation that it has, combined with the very low center of mass of those motors in the axles and everything, servos on the axle, motors in the axle, all that means it actually went over much more stuff, many more obstacles than I expected it would. Really surprised me there. The four-wheel steer and the selection button process that it has up here is really nice. I mean, better than a lot of much more expensive systems that you can get. So very pleased with that. Negatives. There's definitely power. You could feel some times in which back tires would stop, front tires would keep going, that different motor situation they have going on there. I feel as if that's just a lack of ESC and battery power. Be really curious if this thing would actually run on 3S, how much more power that would give to the whole system. ESC upgrade probably would do wonders for it. The tires are the last thing. They were hard. They are harder than they really need to be, especially with the weight of this truck. It needs a much softer tire on here in order to really do what we want it to do. Talking about upgrades for this, future plans for it, couple things. It needs stronger servos and better servo savers. That should be easy to upgrade. It could use some more weight down low, and I've seen some people putting weights actually in the axles, like opening these axles up and putting lead weights down in the bottom of them. That could be very interesting to keep that weight low. Tires and wheels are a no-brainer, is a very common thing to want to do on a vehicle like this. And the other thing I want to do is I want to get this thing a little bit lower. I want to be able to lower the center of mass, and I want to be able to get the whole vehicle down a little bit. So maybe some modifications to how the shocks are mounting. Plus, that battery is about the highest thing in the whole vehicle, and it is a significant amount of weight. What can we do to get the battery down here where the ESC is and reduce that overall mass? Just that alone can be a huge deal to this. Now, if we do get into upgrading the ESC, I believe it's an ESC and receiver in one unit, which means this actually pretty nice controller and everything that it has going on for it will have to go. So that's unfortunate, because I'd really like to be able to keep that. But here we are. This is what we're looking like. I am very excited to get doing some more modifications to this truck. Thank you for watching. There's going to be a link down in the video description below to where you can purchase one of these yourself. It comes with a seal of approval. I recommend it. We started this whole video with, is this potentially the best budget entry way to get into one of these vehicles, into RC crawling? I think it might be. So link is going to be down below in the video description where you can actually go and purchase one of these yourself. And I'm going to get to working on some other things. So while I'm working on those other videos, please come over here and check out some other crawling, other vehicle reviews that we've done. And we will see you in those videos. Thank you and goodbye.